Hi guys, Nick here from Dieselheat. Today I've got a new model black wafer tank here to do a little unboxing for you to show you what's new and what's improved on this fuel tank. So without further ado, let's have a look at what you get when you buy a wafer tank from us. First thing in the box is the mounting kit. All our tanks come with these mounting kits, which include good solid rubber grommets and bolts to mount the tank onto the front of your van, or for example, the wafer tank mounting bracket that we sell, which is also a kit you can use to put the tank on a drawbar, or if you really need to, a rear bumper. The next thing that's in the box is the lockable fuel cap. One of the great things about our fuel caps, which you won't find on any other tank, is if you look at it, not only is it lockable, but that is a standard automotive thread. So if you lose this cap in the middle of nowhere, you don't have to come back to us for a proprietary cap. It's a standard thread. You can buy one from Supercheap, Repco, pick it up at a local service station. So we design these things for people on the road and to be easy to look after as you're travelling. Next and most important, of course, is the tank itself. You can see not much has changed in terms of the actual tank, but the first thing you might notice is that we have a new gauge. The gauge now comes with 6 hold-down bolts, which improves its water resistance, and it also has an improved plastic formula, which has longer UV life and is more diesel resistant. So this thing is designed to really last a long time in this sort of punishing outback environment. Over the years of developing fuel tanks, what we've come to realise is that no matter how careful you are, it's almost impossible to stop condensation or water getting into fuel tanks. You can have an accident like leave the cap off, you can leave the key in the cap and water will track down the key, you can pick up contaminated fuel from a service station, and even a fuel tank that's left with not too much fuel in it, over a period of time, as you have temperature and humidity changes, it will breathe and it will sweat and they can build up condensation inside. So rather than trying to avoid getting the water into the tank, what we've done on these new tanks is set them up with a fuel outlet, which is set 15 millimetres above the bottom of the tank, which means any water sitting in the bottom of the tank will not be picked up by the fuel because the water sits below the pickup level. And then we've got a second fitting here, which is a drain. So this drain comes from the bottom of the tank. You can unscrew a little cap, it has a rubber seal. And this allows you to drain a little bit of fuel or water out of the bottom of the tank without necessarily having to unmount it and take it off the van. In testing, we've tipped up to 100 mils of water into one of these tanks and wobbled it around, run the heater, and had no trouble with it continuing to run. Inside the tank is an assembly like this. So that's the outlet there. And you've got 15 millimetres of stand up here. So the water level is going to sit below that 15 millimetres. And then there's a strainer also built into the tank. So you've got like a strainer as a pre-filter, also meaning that any muck or something or dirt in the fuel won't be picked up by the diesel heater. Another unique thing about our tank is the way it mounts. So we provide this rubber grommeted mounting system. And so if you want to fill your tank from my left-hand side, the rubber grommets go in the wells on the back. But if you want to fill your tank from the right-hand side, you can put the rubber grommet into the wells on the other side of the tank. So the tank can be filled from the left or right, and the mounting system allows you to simply mount it. These rubber grommets are super tough and they provide shock absorbing for the tank. So these things do really, really well on rough roads. The tanks themselves are super tough. We get them moulded specifically out of really strong plastic. There's 1.5 kilos of plastic in this tank, which is significantly more than a lot of other tanks on the market. We've even driven a Ford Ranger over one of them and it didn't pop it or damage it. It got a bit squashed, but it popped back when the car got off it. And so, we're super confident that on the front of your caravan, rocks and stones and things like that hit it, they're not going to puncture the tank. We've never had one be punctured because they're just made of so much strong plastic.